right, welcome back to the Attack the Rack YouTube channel. This is the Attack the Rack Daily Lineup Show. Today is Thursday, August 29, 2024. Guys, you know, every family event, every family party, every social event, it needs something special. Here's the thing. Bubba's Bounce House Rentals, LLC can do that for you. They provide inflatable bounce houses and water slides on top of great service. Here in the West Michigan Lakeshore area. Call Bounce House Master Sam at 616-485-0257 today and mention Attack the Rack to get $25 off your next rental. You can also find Bubba's Bounce House Rentals LLC on Facebook. Bubba's Bounce House Rentals. All we rent is fun. Guys, yesterday, just before we started our show, just before we recorded our show, some news coming out of the Pittsburgh Steelers NFL camp. Russell Wilson has been named the starter. First of all, Trent, does that surprise you at all?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a short leash, though. I think he'll be – I mean, if they start 0-3, 0-4, I think the switch happens. Okay. I feel like they're very similar. So I think it just depends on – maybe they both get some time. I don't know. But I feel like Russell's kind of on the back end of his career. Justin's kind of in the early middle. But yeah, I think like longevity wise, Russell's had a pretty good career.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of earns that spot that way. But I think Fields will get the call at some point during the year, especially if they're not off to a decent start.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget he did have a pretty good season last year with the Broncos. Year one in Denver, not so good. Last year, pretty solid. I mean, I think he was in the top 10 in most statistical categories. Big Mo, were you surprised when you heard that Mike Tomlin named Russell Wilson the starter?
Not surprised, mainly because they signed him first. I think he gets the first crack at it. I think that's all this is like, hey, we brought you in first. Here's your chance. In the end, I think Field gives them the best chance to be as good as they can be. Not that Russell can't win there, but I think Fields gives them a dynamic offensively. Like they don't have to be great offensively. And I think he gives them just that extra little that thing you can't account for with his legs. So
yeah. I mean, based on kind of what you guys are saying, it sounds like it's almost kind of like he's kind of earned that spot or kind of deserves that spot at least to start. And if that's the case, then which I don't you guys very well could be right, but then it's like why not just let everybody know he's the starter right away? Why drag it out so long? Making people want when if your feeling is like, hey, we signed him first, he's a veteran quarterback, he's earned that right to at least have the job right from the get-go, then why not just say that long ago?
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. I don't know why they would stretch it out if they knew it was going to be him. Or maybe it was truly a 50-50 between the two, but I feel like it's so hard to determine that without seeing some like true live reps, which I guess the preseason's for. I don't know how they did in preseason. I don't know who performed better.
Yeah.
But then with Russell on the Broncos, you didn't see a ton of the Broncos during the year. So I guess like for me, I would say that if you don't see a ton of them, I don't expect them to be like doing super well.
Yeah.
Especially because they weren't a great team by any means. So you didn't see them on TV a ton. They didn't have a bunch of like primetime games. So you don't see them on the primetime games. But as you said, Kurt, that he was top 10 in most categories his second year.
Yeah.
So I think like based off that, him going to Pittsburgh, you should just name him automatically, right? Except if he was doing really well last year.
Yeah.
For Fields, I mean, he had a pretty good year last year as well. The Bears just, I mean, he was just running for his life.
Yeah, he had great rushing stats. His passing stats, not so much, but
Right, but there was zero protection. He had no
Correct.
protection up front to even give him a chance to try to sling it. So he just had to use his legs so much. I think they could use both of them in different aspects in Pittsburgh. I mean, they should consider some option stuff with Najee and Fields. I think that could be pretty effective, but we'll see. I think Russell might have a better arm, more accurate. So I guess it's deserving for him.
yeah, I think Big Mo, didn't you mention a couple times on the show here that you were kind of into Fields or thought he was going to end up being pretty good?
I think he's going to be good for him. I still think he's going to be fine. I think the reason you go through not naming a starter is what if Fields came in and just dominated?
Yeah.
Right now, if they're equal in the preseason stuff, all right, you give it to the guy you signed first.
Yep.
You know, and then all of a sudden you're going to need a big splash. Maybe you need to win a game, and you bring in Fields. He does well, then boom, he takes the job, and we're off and running.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, too, I mean, just on the flip side, if they are kind of even, then and it's not like we're expecting big things from Pittsburgh this year, and you probably are hoping that Fields will be the quarterback of your future. Why not just get going on that right now? And you've got Russell Wilson there. Obviously, that would be up to Russell Wilson if he'd want to kind of be that mentor role, that we've seen kind of successful with the last two quarterback situations in Green Bay.
Yeah, but if Tomlin's job's on the line, I think he's kind of got a role with Russell.
Yeah.
As Big Mo said, they brought him in first,
Right.
and they got Fields for pretty much nothing. Which I think is just crazy to ship off a quarterback he drafted for like they get like a 5th rounder or 6th rounder for him or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much Russell's getting paid either. So I think, and maybe Russell's not even willing to play that mentor spot, kind of like what you saw in the earlier days with like Favre and Rodgers, like that type of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the key too. Is he'd have to want to, adapt that role and be good with it. So
right.
All right. Hey, how about the Detroit Tigers, boys of summer here in Michigan, on fire? I don't know how many they've won in a row. They just beat the Angels last night.
Well, they lost today.
Oh, they did lose already today. Okay.
Yep.
Well, so now they're back to one game over 500, but they went up 2 games over 500.
They won 6 in a row.
Okay, they won 6 in a row. They went 2 games over 500 since July 1. Now, if they lost today, they're back to 9 games over 500 since July 1. So the record since July 1, 31-20. That is the second best record in the AL since July 1. And again, before today's game, they're 8 games out of first place, but they're only 4.5 games out of the wild card.
I think they're toast, but I like how they ended the year.
What's that?
I think they're not going to make it, but I like how they finished the year. I mean, they brought up a lot of young guys, which I think is great. It seems like they're kind of clicking, which is good. They obviously need to add some more bats.
Yeah. And
maybe add a couple more pitchers. I mean, Screwball's he's one of the top guys in the league, pitcher-wise.
Doesn't the pitching kind of fall off after their first 2 starters?
Yeah, and then they shipped off gosh, I forget his name already. They shipped off the kind of like the 2nd, 3rd guy. He was going to be a free agent anyway.
They traded him, yeah.
But I think the young guys are stepping up a little bit. I mean, they sent Torkelson down early, and they finally brought him back. He hit a home run yesterday. And first pick of the draft, you got to hope that. I kind of wish he was more of a stud, but I know how the MLB it's not an easy thing for a college kid to step in and be really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's got to be a little excitement in the clubhouse for him. They got to add some pieces. They got, Javi Baez is a joke.
Oh my gosh.
That's the worst sign ever. And they paid him.
It literally might be.
They paid him so much money, and he is one of the worst players in the league, batting wise. The glove was incredible, but it's just frustrating to sign a guy that has a ton of hype and just didn't pan out.
And I think they still owe him like $75 million, still 3 more years, something like that.
Yep.
He's hit in the 3 years he's been with Detroit. He's only hit 36 home runs.
Yeah, he's hitting under 200 average. He's at 184 right now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. It's just frustrating. Just because of how good he was on the Cubs in the World Series run, which kind of make you a believer. But then he went to the Mets. Average at the Mets, but still ended up with, 26, 27 home runs.
Yeah.
Now it's like, dude swings at everything. Yeah. You could throw him something that spikes 3 feet in front of the plate, and he's swinging at it. So it's like he doesn't practice. It's like I can
see that being Big Mo style, just swing at everything.
Just let it rip.
Yeah, I could hit better than 184. I know that. I would swing at everything, but I'd be able to hit something.
Yeah. He hits
close your eyes. You close your eyes and you got to hit something.
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's frustrating. I think they're on the uprise, which is good.
Well, that division there, and it has just been crazy. The Guardians looked like the best team in all of the major leagues for a while, at least record wise. I think they may have at one point even had the best record in the major leagues. They 4-9 in their last 13. Earlier this month, they lost 7 in a row. They avoided a sweep last night by winning 1 of the 4 games over Kansas City. Kansas City, on the other hand, we mentioned earlier, the Tigers' best record in Major League, or the second best record in the AL since July 1. The team with the best record is Kansas City. They actually went up, they actually tied Cleveland for first. Obviously lost last night. Cleveland went back up by 1 game, but what a crazy situation there in the AL Central. Big Mo, when it comes push comes to shove, I think Trent, you're kind of selling on the Tigers maybe having a playoff chance.
Yeah.
We can probably all agree they're not going to win the division being 8 games out. But Big Mo, only 4.5 now. Obviously, they lost today. We'll see how that affects the standings. But 4.5 games out with probably, 30 games to play maybe-ish? What do you think? Can they do it?
Well, I don't know who said it, Kurt. I have no idea. But I think you're going to put a fork in those Tigers. It's all over. I'm riding with Trent. I haven't watched a baseball game this year, but put a fork in them. They're done.
No, I think you guys are both right. But it is kind of cool to be playing like somewhat meaningful baseball here as we approach September.
Yeah, that's with a lot of young players.
We're rooting for them, that's for sure.
We are.
We're rooting for you.
Never root for someone's failure unless it's Javi Baez.
We're just calling how we see it.
Yeah.
But we're still cheering them on. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, go. All right. Well, hey, let's wrap up here with today we're doing the AFC South. Another one of those kind of snore divisions, I think, very similar to the NFC South. AFC South, you got the Jags, the Titans, the Texans, and the Colts. Trent, what are you thinking for the AFC South this season when push comes to shove?
Who's the Colts quarterback?
Richardson's back, right?
Richardson, because he got hurt last year, right?
Yeah, I think he's good to go.
Okay. All right, let's go with I'm gonna start from the top. We're gonna go with Houston to win it.
Okay.
I think they're just that much better, and offensively they're stacked offensively. So let's go with Houston finishing first. Let's go with the Jacksonville Jaguars to finish second.
Okay.
I think Trevor Lawrence just got paid, I believe, or was that last year he got paid?
That was last year.
Well, he got paid, so he needs to perform. And then let's go Colts third. I don't know a whole lot about their offense.
Yeah.
But from when Richardson did play, he was pretty effective, I thought.
Right.
And then Tennessee to bring up the anchor. They lost Henry. I don't think they've had a good quarterback since McNair. So we're gonna have Tennessee bringing up the back.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Titans last for sure. I'll probably go. Man, I think we're gonna see that a little bit of that sophomore slump from CJ Stroud this year. But I do think he'll be good enough, and they have enough weapons as well, where they will challenge for the division winner. But I think the Jags are back this year. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a phenomenal season. So I'm going to go Jags are going to win the division barely over the Texans. Colts third. And again, if we could put the Titans lower than fourth, I'd put them way down there.
Agreed.
Big Mo, what do you got?
Well, here, you did it again. As the host, you just jump in there before everybody else. Deal everybody outside the pre meeting. Blame you and producer Dale on that. I like the Jaguars. Jaguars too.
All right.
Well, I mean, we already talked about that. He just happened to just want to jump in there second again.
I think you guys are just CJ Stroud haters
today, but hey, it's all right. So Jaguars first.
Okay.
Texans close behind. Real neat battle between the Texans and the Jaguars.
There's
down
nothing
to the wire, down to the whatever last couple games they got.
We find out week 4.
Week 4.
Week 4.
Okay. They got to play twice, right? So what about the last time they meet?
Week 4, week 13.
Okay. I like week 13 being the deciding factor. Jaguars get them there. Colts, and then Titans are probably like the 5th, 6th, 7th team in the division. There's probably somebody ahead of them. We don't know who, but somebody's.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Well, all right, guys. Hey, anything else? Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
We won't talk about it yet, but have you guys seen the Connor Stallions documentary yet?
I've not watched it yet, no.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe between now and next Tuesday, you guys can watch that, and we'll talk about it next Tuesday. I got a lot to say, so.
Yeah, I'll get on it.
And then, anything else, Big Mo? Anything from you, Big Mo?
No, another good Fever game last night, guys.
Huge win.
Didn't fall asleep. Just to make
You're on a roll.
Big win, big home win for the Fever. They had not beat the Connecticut. I think it was the Sun last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they're on fire. They're hot.
They're rip roaring ahead. Come on, Caitlin Clark MVP.
That honestly could happen.
Well, now, so that they're 5-1 since the break. They've now, earlier in the season, they did beat the Liberty, who's the number 1 team, and now they beat the Sun, who's the number 2 team. So,
do they play on the road?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Every
time I see a game, they're at home, so I don't they don't play any road games, so I don't know.
Well, when you got Caitlin Clark, you host all the games at home.
That's kind of the feeling I got. It was like, Caitlin's here, all home games.
He's running the show these days. If you didn't know,
true.
And then, but two, I think they got to play the Liberty one more time, I think. But outside of that, I think they have a really easy schedule. I think they said they have the easiest schedule the rest of the way. And apparently they have a bunch of home games, Trent.
I know. I don't doubt that at all. Actually, Friday, they're on the road.
Okay.
They take their talents to Chicago for the 36th time this year.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy? They play everybody like 4 times.
Yeah, I didn't realize there wasn't that many teams in the WNBA.
Right.
So I guess that does make sense that they play everybody 8 to 10 times.
Yeah.
How many games do they have in a season?
I think 40.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they wouldn't play. There's 12 teams, right?
I think so. Let me check.
I think they do actually have an East and West. So maybe they play like everyone. Well, they must play most teams 4 times, and then a couple of the teams only 3.
Yeah, 12 teams. There's 3 that – wait, what does that mean? There's 3 that already clinched playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, clinched playoff berth. So you got Liberty. What's CX? Oh, what's the Commissioner's Cup?
Oh, that's kind of like the
Play-in, like the tournament?
the in-season tournament that the NBA does. Yeah.
Okay, so you got Liberty, the Lynx, and the Sun who have already clinched a playoff berth.
And the Fever have beaten all 3 of those teams too.
Yeah, and they still have they're 1 game behind 500, which is crazy after their start.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, they're playing well, and it seemed like last night their scoring was pretty balanced from what I saw on the stat sheet. It looked like everybody kind of had a piece of that, which is cool. It's good for them.
I think all 5 starters were in double figures.
Yeah, because usually you get like Mitchell and Clark who score mid-20s, and everybody else kind of sprinkles in.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had all 5 starters, double figures. And then the one girl came off the bench and scored 5.
Yeah.
But there was a girl who played, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. She played 17 minutes, didn't score, but her plus minus was plus 18.
Yeah, I think that's that girl that was like diving all over the floor and getting rebounds, had the knee pads on, I think.
Timmy.
I think that was her.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
She knows her role.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for her.
All right, anything else?
Nah.
All right. Hey, so just so you know, guys, we have now completed 2 full months of the daily lineup show. 27 episodes in the books, boys. That is crazy, isn't it?
Doesn't feel like it, really.
I know.
Can we get some confetti?
We could get a cake.
Oh,
What's that?
We could get some cake. That's for sure.
Producer Dale on that. We want some cake in the office next week.
Yeah. Producer Dale, we'll have him get a nice little spread, cake for dessert, some balloons, and we'll hang out, maybe watch some football and celebrate.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll see you Tuesday.
See ya.